Hey everyone, Mike here, Get Fit Over 40, walking to Timmy's, and I'll take you through a full day, to try and cover as much as possible of what I'm doing. Anything that's important, like, you know, if I'm going to the washroom or something like that, I won't be recording that, obviously. But you know, anything interesting that's happening, meals, going to the dentist today, maybe the gym a little bit, some stuff at the gym. Not too much. I think I talked about that. It's kind of tough to get the workouts done and record and all that stuff. You just want to get in there and out of there. But I'll try and get some footage maybe in the gym. You know, meals again. Those are important. Yeah, so we're 4 days out. West Coast Iron, Vancity Showdown. Feeling pretty good. I feel really on track here. I'm hoping to bring my best conditioning ever. Things are going well. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, you know, something I don't always talk about, people like to talk about, is, you know, contest prep, peak week, what kind of is involved. Typically, this whole week, fairly low carb. That's what people do. They go low carb, sort of get depleted, so you can carb back up and fill in a little, overfill in is kind of the idea. You know, if you don't nail it though, you can really screw it up. So you got to be careful. So what do? Well, I add a little more fats in than most people do, because I find the fats it's better than the carbs. It's a form of energy. You got to be careful though, you don't go too much, because you know, fats are definitely high in calories. So you can't add like a ton of them in, but I do factor some of that in. So I have to bring my protein down just a little bit to accommodate a little more fats. But I feel fuller, I feel better on them. Gives me a little bit more energy. It makes me feel a little more full, even on lower calories. Some people say that, well, if you're eating fats, it's so calorie dense, you're not going to feel full, your stomach isn't going to feel full. Well, I do. It works for me, and I get enough food. You know, I get enough quantity of food that I feel fairly full, so we're good. Let me switch hands here. Okay, all right. And it works. So I'm eating about 2,000 calories a day. I'm burning like 4,000 calories a day, so I'm pretty close to a 2,000 calorie deficit most days. So I'm on track to lose easily a half a pound a day of fat. So by Friday evening, I should be down close to 3, maybe even 3.5 pounds from Monday, and be right where I want to be. And then Saturday is the carb up day, and I've programmed it in. I should be eating somewhere between 500 and 600 grams of carbs. And that's the only day I'm carbing up. And some people might say, oh, that's not enough. You got to carb up for 3 days. Well, I don't. I'd like the look that I get when I don't carb up too much. If I carb up too much, I start to hold a little bit of water. I start even holding it in my face. I just start holding it everywhere. So I like looking a little drier. That's the look I'm going to go for. I might not be quite as full, but that's what I'm going to do. In terms of like water loading, salt loading, all that kind of stuff, I just do the normal thing. I eat my normal amount of salt. I try not to have too much, especially on peak week, just normal amounts. Big truck going by here, a tractor. And in terms of water, I just drink my normal amounts of water right up till basically the evening before the show. And then I slow down. Later in the evening, I slow down, make sure I don't drink too much, and I don't really drink much water the day of the show. You do need some water in your body. If you're going to carb up, you're going to need some of that water. You're going to require that to get into the muscles and fill in the muscles. So you just don't want too much. You don't want to be holding water. That's the thing. So that's the goal, is not to hold water. As long as I don't carb up too crazy, I won't hold water. As long as I don't have anything wrong with my body, because you can have like liver problems. Sometimes people have abused their bodies during contest prep in many different ways, and their liver just isn't working the way it should. And you can hold water if you especially when you start carbing up. Your liver does not like all those carbs all at once if it's not working right, and you will back right up. Back up with water and just bloat and everything. So you don't want that either. It's kind of almost like spilling over. So you can spill over if your liver isn't working right. Even if you don't overdo the carbs, it'll just happen. So be careful with that. All right. That's it for this video. Probably the next video is going to be me having a little Timmy's. Still love this tooth. Oh, by the way, this tooth is getting fixed today. So this is the gap. It's almost like an Arnold Schwarzenegger gap, only halfway up. So we'll get that fixed. All right. All right, so real quick, this is breakfast, Tim Hortons. This is a breakfast sandwich, egg, cheese, bacon, minus the bread, bun, pumpkin spice timbit, and a black coffee with 2 cream and 1 sugar. So yeah, a little bit of carbs. We got some carbs there. We got some carbs there, but not a lot. As you notice, it's not a whole chocolate dip donut. I'm trying to cut back here, but still make my walk something that I enjoy doing, because I know there's this light at the end of the tunnel when I get to Timmy's. One thing I wanted to cover, I thought it was kind of important, is I'm taking cold effects right now, and the reason I'm taking this, I take 2 in the morning and 2 at night, is because at the show they're testing us for temperature, and you know, with all the COVID stuff going on, they don't want anyone with the temperature or any flu-like symptoms to show up and be there. So if I get any kind of a flu, cold, temperature, all of this work that I'm doing will be for nothing. So just as a precaution, I'm not worried about getting COVID. I'm not worried about getting the flu. I really don't care. I'm young and healthy. I'll manage just fine, okay? I'm not on board with that whole thing. I know there's people that have conditions and stuff and they need to be aware of it. That's fine. Everyone's got to do what they got to do. But this is what I got to do. And right now, there's quite a few people with colds and flus. It's just what's going on. Even with all these precautions, even with the masks, even with the sanitizer, even with the social distancing, people are getting colds and flus. I know at least a half a dozen people, like right now over the last couple weeks, that have got colds and flus. You know, with all of the stuff, the precautions, people are still getting it. You got to wonder, how are people getting sick with all of these precautions? How are we stopping COVID when we can't stop a typical cold or a flu? How are we doing anything to affect COVID? I don't know. You kind of figure that out. My daughter is sick right now with a sore throat. She's getting better. It was a couple days, sore throat, headache, slight little cough. She's totally coming around. My wife was sick last week. She probably got my daughter sick because she got a sore throat and all that, but it went away literally right away. She went on the cold effects like right away and got rid of it. So this stuff does work. What's in it? It's not like a bunch of crazy vitamins. It's basically like a special ginseng root. They have like a patent on a special ginseng root. I'm not sure which one. You have to look it up. And it does work. They did clinical studies. You know, they did the test groups with you know, the placebo group, test group. Placebo group, like 7 or 8 of the people got sick out of 100, I believe. They did a couple tests. And with the actual cold effects group, I think 1. So that's significant. 1 versus 7 or 8 people out of the test group is significant. It's like got an 84-85% efficiency rate. So don't want to get sick, take this stuff, okay? Probably help with COVID too. We are at the dentist's office. Had a shower and a shave. Looks a little better, eh? Not so. That morning video was kind of rough. That's what I look like in the morning. A little rough around the edges, not cleaned up. A lot of kind of water in the face, bags under the eyes. Not that they're that much better, but they get better throughout the day. A little rough in the morning. Gonna get that fixed. So hopefully the next thing I see is gonna be fixed tooth there. And that little chip there they're gonna fix too, because I got a little one there, this big one here. They're actually going to cap this. You notice it's a little yellow, this tooth, more than the other ones. They are going to cap it because of the chip, that it's chipped so many times that medical's only going to cover it so much. So anyways, it'll look better for the show. That's the main thing. Well, that was the fastest dentist appointment ever. Looks like I put the appointment in a day early. So I got to do this all over again tomorrow. Same time, same place, just a different day. So anyways, no fixed tooth. I got to live with this for 1 more day. I'll survive. So I'm in my office. That mix up with the dentist appointment kind of messed things up a little bit. I had my day all planned out. Now I'm changing things a little bit. I just did some emails and stuff. I've got some articles. An article for the Replica Airguns website that I've got to post and publish. That video is already done, so that's kind of nice. That'll be my video this week for them. Just going to do one. I'm probably going to do a video. Maybe I'll make a video today. Something that I've been thinking about doing about exercise and metabolism. So I might shoot that one today and maybe post it tomorrow. I wasn't planning on doing like an informational video so much, but it's kind of related to the cutting and everything and the fitness side of things and the getting in better shape, and something I discovered about metabolism and exercise pretty much while I was cutting and training for a show, and it was kind of some startling information that I discovered. But I also wanted to bring up this. This is called the Rub Ball, and they sent me this for review. I'm not going to get to it this week because just too much on my plate, but hopefully next week I do want to get to it right away. It's like a hypersphere. Remember the hypersphere that I did? Basically, it's like a vibrating massage ball, and it competes with the hypersphere. So I'm going to review this side by side with that one and see if they're similar, you know, what the price points are, you know, in terms of vibration, intensity, all that kind of stuff, and battery longevity, all of those types of things. All right, so probably the next video will be something food related, I'm hoping, because I'm getting hungry. So this is lunch part A. I'm going to be doing this twice. I'm going to have this right now, and then pretty much exactly the same thing after I do some posing in a workout, or maybe just before I go to a workout, not really sure, but I'm going to be doing this one first, and then next one maybe before I head out for a workout, but it's all the same. So this is like a turkey slice with a little bit of Tex-Mex cheese, not a lot, and then I'm going to be adding in some tzatziki, and basically I've got some seasoning on there. It's like a Taco Tuesday, some pepper, some sriracha sauce, and some mustard, which is pretty much 0 calorie. And of course, a little Diet Coke just to get some caffeine in me right now. So this is lunch. I think after this, I'll do some posing. Not sure if I'm going to video that. We'll see, because it's probably hard to pose and video at the same time. you haven't noticed, tanning booth, and just got out, just finished up the gym. Head home, make some dinner. So this is dinner in the making. We have some Alaskan white sole, or Alaskan sole here. It's in a little bit of butter, not much, with some lemon juice and garlic and some spiced chipotle seasoning on the bottom. I'll be putting some more chipotle on the top there, flipping them. And then I have cauliflower with a little bit of cheese. There's 3 cheeses on there, not very much of each. A little bit of cheese whiz, a little bit of shredded cheddar, and a little bit of Parmesan. A lot less than I normally do because we're trying to keep the fats down a little bit, but as I said before, I do add some fats into the meal, just trying to keep the carbs low. And this is not all for me. I'll probably be giving or sharing some with my wife, but I'll be eating most of it, probably giving her about 1/3 of it. So this will kind of cooks down to a little bit smaller amount though, but once it kind of browns on the bottom, I'll flip that. I'll let these guys cook. I'll cook these basically without a lid, so that the moisture can get out of them. And the cauliflower, I will put the lid on it, cook a little bit longer, and then I'll be flipping them or moving them around so they don't burn on the bottom. And that's pretty much it. I'll show you what this all looks like when it's all cooked up. Dinner is served. I didn't mention earlier, but there's a little bit of salsa and Parmesan on top of the fish, the Alaska fish, and then there's the broccoli, a nice helping of it. A little bit of tzatziki. It looks like a lot, but it's about 2 tablespoons. Tzatziki, that's like 50 calories. And then my boobly bubbly 0-calorie drink to wash it all down. About 700, just over 700 calories for the whole thing. Well, I'm out for my last walk of the evening. It's kind of dark, really dark. And I'm pretty tired. I actually started out with my wife and daughter, but they were walking fast. And I said, just go ahead. I'm just too tired to walk fast. We were going to bring the dogs, but again, too tired to walk the dogs. They're actually a lot of work. One of them is just constantly crapping all the time. Just didn't feel like picking up 4 or 5 craps. And the other one is always pulling. He's young, so we're training him. He pulls a lot, so work in progress, but they're a little bit of work. And sometimes you just, you're just like, not tonight. We have a yard, we have a big yard, fenced yard, so they were out most of the day doing their thing, so they're okay. We try to take them out most days, but tonight just didn't have it in me. Next up, you'll probably see me eating my late night snack. I've actually got a shake, a protein shake that I was going to have at some point during the day, but I've left it till tonight. And I've got some, like a pancake thing that I make, a protein pancake, so that'll be next, probably, that you see. We are down to the last meal of the day, the snack before bed. Always have a pretty late snack. Don't eat as much during the front half of the day, but I do like to have something before I go to bed. And after my walk, I downed one of these shakes here, 130 calories, 24 grams of protein. It's basically water and protein mix, and that's pretty much it. And now I'm going to make a protein pancake using this Hold the Carbs pancake mix. And so basically you put an egg in there. You can put milk, but I'm just going to put water, egg. I even actually put a little bit of protein. I add a little protein. I didn't put that on the table here, but you can add whatever protein you want. I just add a scoop of protein, make it even more protein kind of rich. Usually about 100 calories, 110 calories of protein, almost all protein. And a little bit of butter just in the bottom of the frying pan, just so it doesn't, well, it gives it a little bit more, moisture, but not too much. And then, bake it up or whatever, fry it up, whatever you do with pancakes. And then once it's done, I put some of this 0-calorie marshmallow dip. It's kind of like whipping cream, or that's what I use for whipping cream because I can't use whipping cream. 0 calories. I use this double fruit. This is the raspberry one, but I have strawberry stuff too. And it's like 20 calories per tablespoon. So I use a couple of those, 2 or 3 of those. I think 40 to 60 calories. That's the only real heavy sugar that goes in there, but it's not too bad. And then I use this SinFit. This is basically pancake syrup, but it's 0 calorie. So the whole, basically including all the shakes and all the protein powder and everything you see here, is going to come in at about 644 calories, 67 grams of protein, 29 grams of fats, and 31 grams of carbs. So that's what this meal is going to be, and I'll show it to you when it's all done. So here is the finished product. Yum, yum. And yeah, I'm going to eat this real quick here before it gets cold. The calories for the day, total calories were 2,020. Protein was 204. Fats were 97, and carbs were 89. Just in case you wanted to know. You know, carbs are a little bit up there. I like to try and get them closer to 50, but the reality is even 100 grams of carbs is basically 400 calories worth of exercise to burn that off. And I'm burning off like close to 2,000 calories in exercise. So I'm burning off those carbs and getting into that depleted mode, no problem. So anyways, time to eat this, time to relax, time to go to bed and start this all over again for 2 more days before I get to carb up, and then 1 more day after that for the show. Talk to you tomorrow.